Welcome to Behind the Screen, a new podcast series from BreastScreen Victoria. I'm your host, Dee Mason. 1 in 7 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. Yet, thanks to early detection, Victoria now has one of the highest 5-year survival rates in the world, an extraordinary 93%. Now that's not a coincidence, it's proof that breast screening saves lives. Most of us have heard these numbers before, but for many women, screening can still feel daunting or like something that can wait just that little bit longer. The reality is it can't. Early detection changes everything. BreastScreen Victoria's ambition is clear: to work towards no deaths from breast cancer in Victoria. Now, it's a bold goal, and it's one that depends not just on medicine or technology, but on people, on participation, trust, access, and early detection. Behind the Screen is a podcast series that opens up the world of breast screening in Victoria. Across 6 episodes, we'll step inside the program, how it works, who it's for, and what really happens at each stage of the screening and assessment journey. We'll hear from clinicians, program leaders, researchers, and importantly, from women with lived experience. In episode 1, The Importance of Breast Screening, we start with the big picture. I'm joined by BreastScreen Victoria's CEO, Rita Butera, State Clinical Director, Dr. David Speakman, and Sue Viney from BreastScreen Victoria's Consumer Advisory Group. Together, we talk about why breast screening exists, how early detection changes outcomes, and what the data really tells us about breast cancer in Victoria. We also confront some of the myths and misconceptions that still prevent women from attending, despite screening being free, quick, and proven to save lives. Episode 2, The Assessment Journey, takes us further along that pathway. This episode focuses on what happens after a screening appointment, particularly when a woman is called back for further tests. Dr. David Speakman returns, joined by Catherine Langford, BreastScreen Victoria's Director of Quality and Clinical Care, and Liz Naval, a member of the BreastScreen Victoria Consumer Network, who was diagnosed with breast cancer through the screening program. Together, the panel walks through the client assessment journey step by step, combining clinical insights with lived experience to demystify what can often be the most anxiety-provoking part of the screening journey. In episode 3, Hard to Reach Communities, we turn our attention to equity and access. I'm joined by Eliza Alford, Program Manager at Bendigo BreastScreen, Kathy Eccles from the Consumer Network, representing trans and gender diverse communities, and Carmel Lacasso from the Disability Consumer Advisory Group. This conversation explores the reality that a service being free does not automatically make it accessible. We talk about cultural safety, inclusion, disability access, and what meaningful engagement looks like when health services are designed with communities. Episode 4, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Women, focuses on Aboriginal women and the significant progress being made through community-led approaches to increase breast screening rates. I'm joined by Auntie Jill Gallagher, a proud Gunditjmara woman and CEO of the Victorian Aboriginal Community-Controlled Health Organisation, or VACCHO. Nicole Laurie, Director of Communications and Client Engagement at BreastScreen Victoria, and Auntie Deb Mellett, CEO of Jambana, Aboriginal Community-Controlled Organisation in Frankston and a regular screener with BreastScreen Victoria. Central to this discussion is the Beautiful Shawl Project, a powerful example of how culture, trust and community leadership can transform participation and outcomes in breast screening. In episode 5, Innovations Shaping the Future of Breast Screening, I'm joined by Associate Professor Dr. Helen Fraser, an AI researcher and Chief Investigator at BreastScreen Victoria, Luke Neal, Chief Operations and Innovation Officer at BreastScreen Victoria, and Michelle Giles, Program Manager at Maroondah BreastScreen. This episode explores how research, technology and service design are improving detection accuracy, client experience and long-term outcomes. And in episode 6, What's Next for BreastScreen Victoria, I sit back down with CEO Rita Butera to reflect on the themes raised across this series. We revisit the goal of working towards no deaths from breast cancer in Victoria and explore what are the next steps for BreastScreen Victoria. Behind the Screen is available on podcast platforms and via breastscreen.org.au/podcast from February 2026. Come and join the conversation on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure to like, follow and subscribe so you'll be notified weekly when the episodes drop. And if you know someone who's curious about breast screening or could really benefit from these conversations, feel free to share.